Welcome to all you beautiful people. I'm so glad to have you here in the live show with me. My name is Tomisin Atobatele. I am your humble, gracious, grateful host coming to you live from Toronto, Ontario, ready to talk to you about love, life, and relationships and everything in between. How are you guys doing today? How you feeling? What's the vibes? What's goody? Okay. Welcome. I see Betty is already here. Brianna's already here. Brianna already knows the topic for today because she's either in the Discord or she's on YouTube. Those of you who are in the Discord or on YouTube always know what's going on early. And that's the best part about being in one of those two groups. Okay. Aisha says, I love watching you and falling asleep every time. Hey, for some of you, it's wake up time when I'm on. For some of you, it's sleep time when I'm on. As long as it's a time when I'm on, that's all that matters. Okay. Ken says, are we here or Discord? I mean, we're here. But the Discord is always active. It's never off. Okay. I was just saying that the people that were in the Discord got a chance to see what the topic is early. It's a little sneak peek, okay? And the people on YouTube as well, okay? So today's topic is going to be very interesting. Let's take roll call first, and then I'll introduce the topic. So if you're here, you're present, you're paying attention to me and everyone else in the live stream, you got to say here present so that I know that you're participating with me and everyone else in the live chat, because that's the best experience for all of us. Okay. We got Batia. She beat out Brianna. Brianna's usually the first one to say here or present as soon as I say it. So Batia beat her out actually. Today, you're second, Brianna. We got Missy America over in the YouTube chat as well. We got Sharice is here. Batia, of course. We got Brianna's here. We got Claudia's here. SH is here. We got N's here. Brittany's here. Marwa is here. I seen her say earlier the longest minute of my life waiting for the show to start. That's awesome. Elise is here. Aisha is here. Rihanna. I like that. And Gabby's here, of course. And I'm sure much more, hundreds more people will join us as time goes on. But I'm glad you're here with me on time. Okay, let's get started. All right. Today, we are going to be talking about our topic for today: why men and women can't be best friends while dating other people. Okay? Very controversial topic. We have a lot to get to. Because I know everyone has different feelings about this topic and has very different perspectives. Some of us have been through it. Some of us have been on one side or the other. I want to do my best to cover every aspect of this topic that I can for you guys, because we're gonna get deep, and for some of us it's gonna hurt. For some of us it's gonna be a reminder of what we've been through, but hopefully everyone can take something away from this, including myself as well. Okay. SH says, you mean while dating or in general? I mean why men and women can't be best friends with each other while dating other people. So you're in a relationship and you have a best friend that's a girl as a guy, or you're a girl and you're in a relationship and you have a best friend that's a guy. Why I think that it can't work out that way. Okay, so I'm going to start with the breakdown so that we're all on the same page. Okay, men and women often fool themselves into thinking that having a best friend of the opposite sex is appropriate in a relationship because it's harmless, but they ignore a lot of the inherent qualities, almost mispronounced that, a lot of the inherent qualities that come with the territory that make the situation a dangerously slippery slope, full of gray areas and confusion. Okay, so here are 7 reasons why men and women can't be best friends while dating other people. Okay, very simple. Let's get to it. Number 1, we have attraction. Now, I'm sure that one's not a surprise to you, but on one or both sides, This is what I'm talking about in the best friend and the person in the relationship, right? Or if they're both in a relationship, whatever it may be, on one or both sides, there is a natural role that physical and mental attraction plays in the desire to be someone's friend. Stay with me here, okay? This happens in our same sex friendships as well, but we're just not aroused by it, okay? I know some of you like, what do you mean by that? Just we're gonna do some explaining, right? Okay, so I'll give you an example, right? I see a girl at a party who looks attractive, and I want to make friends with her because I want more friends, right? Harmless in itself. I just, maybe I'm new to the city. Maybe I don't know a lot of people at that party. I want to be more friendly with people. So I see someone who looks cute and, I want to go up to her and make some friends with her. So I go up to her and I start a conversation by making a joke, a harmless joke, nothing, inappropriate or anything like that. Even though my approach is harmless, and we may become best friends after the encounter. It started from a place of my attraction to her, which is what motivated me to want to know her better. Okay? Now, obviously, I'm speaking from a man's perspective. And for the most part, I'll be speaking on it from a man's perspective. But I'm sure you can acknowledge this as well, a lot of what I'll say will also apply to women from the vice versa world. So keep in mind, I'm going to be talking about the different sides of the coin. What I mean by that is being the best friend, right? So let's imagine there's a situation in which I'm best friends with someone and that best friend that I have is in a relationship. Then we can also imagine vice versa, where I'm the guy who has a girlfriend and I have a best friend that's a girl. So from both perspectives, we're going to be looking at this situation because they mostly apply the same way, just slightly different circumstances or slightly different details. Okay, so like I gave you guys in the example, even with the intention of being like, okay, I want to make you my friend, or I want to get to know you better, or I want to see if you have a good enough personality that we would get along. For the most part, especially for the men, that is always motivated by their physical attraction to someone or personal gain. This is going to be very important. I want you guys to understand this concept because I know some of you guys are like, well, not every guy I've been a best friend with is because I've been actually attracted to him. I know that. And I agree with that. And even from a guy's perspective, it's not always about the physical attraction. Sometimes it's about the personal gain. So some of you might be thinking when you hear personal gain, you might be thinking of, oh, what do you mean they're giving me money? What do you mean they're taking me out on dates? What do you mean they're spending money on me, buying me gifts or stuff like that? No, it's not just that. When I say personal gain, I'm also talking about the validation and the ego boost you receive psychologically and mentally from someone who is really into you. And that in itself can be a reason to keep a friend around or to grow and continue a friendship because you get the boost and the personal gain of feeling good about yourself, of feeling validated by someone else, that you can continue to keep that person around so that you can continue to have that validation all the time, especially if you're in a relationship or you're seeing different people that you feel might not treat you right. We're going to get to that later, but I just want you guys to understand the two contexts under why people get into these best friendships. Okay, what we'll call them, because I call them best friendships because usually, actually, majority of the time, there's always something going on underneath the surface that is not being addressed, which is the reason for the best friendship. Again, I'm talking about best friendships as it relates to men and women doing the best friend thing. We're besties. Okay. All right. Let's get that down. So the next point I have here attraction or some sort of personal gain, like I mentioned, whether it be a promotion at work, maybe it's your coworker, you're not physically attracted to them, but being their friend will help you get a promotion at work. Or maybe it's the personal gain of the ego boost, right? Are the only two things that could inspire someone to want to be best friends with someone or friends with someone. Let's be close friends with each other in the first place. Okay? And like I mentioned before, the two ways or reasons that would happen is either the physical attraction or the personal gain, whether that be mental, spiritual, the ego boost, whether it be monetary, financial, whatever it may be. Some sort of personal gain or some sort of physical attraction. Those are the only two reasons people are ever motivated, as it relates to being the opposite sex, in being best friends with each other. Now, the reason I wanted to make that so clear, and that was the first point, and that why it was so important, is because once you understand that, we can then properly move on to the next thing. Now, let me ask you guys, because I'm curious. I know we jumped off right away, but I want to get an understanding. How many of you guys have been with a guy? Because I know it's mostly girls in here. How many of you guys have been with a guy who had a best girlfriend? Tell me in the chat. Yes or no? Have you been in a relationship or a situationship or a talking stage with a guy who had a best girlfriend? Okay. Sarah Ratima says yes. We got Joanna, I believe, says yes. Rayanna says no, never. Sharice says it was vice versa for me. Okay, so this what I'm talking about might apply to you. SH says yes. Okay. Yep, my ex-husband. Okay. I know a guy who has multiple best girlfriends. Wow, that's crazy. Okay. Batia says no, never. Alzira says something similar. Missy America in the YouTube chat says never. Okay. Dislecky says yep. My ex Claudia says nope. Enlightened Nate just joined us in the YouTube chat. Glad to see you. Britt says, I have a few best guy friends in happy relationships. Okay, now this is really good because like I said, I know that for some of you, you might be the best friend. And for some of you, it might be the opposite way where you're in a relationship with the guy who had a best friend, which is great because you get to see it from multiple perspectives. And I think once we go through everything, you'll start to be able to identify the parts that apply to your best friendship, right? And you'll start to see what was going on underneath the surface, which is why I always would advise that if you have a best friendship, right, going on right now, you should be listening to these points and these topics, subtopics, so you can identify, is this happening right now in my best friendship? And if it is, and we're both single, why don't I just explore that relationship instead of turning it into a best friendship? Or if you guys are both in relationships separately, or one of you guys is in a relationship, you have to ask yourself, which one am I? Am I this best friend that's here for all of these reasons that he mentioned? And really understand what's going on the surface, and vice versa. Do you have a guy in your life that is in a best friendship with you, and some of these subtopics are present in your best friendship, and now you're realizing that what you thought was appropriate for your relationship maybe isn't as appropriate as you thought, or in some cases as well, and we'll mention this later, is actually making your relationship suffer. And the fact that this best friendship is going on is actually to your relationship or future relationships' detriment. And I'm going to explain to you why you should be very, very cautious of this from both perspectives. So obviously we started number one with attraction. That for most people is pretty understandable. Now we're going to get deeper. You know, we love to get deep on the show and get us into the weeds of the emotions and the mental and spiritual and all that good stuff as we possibly can. Okay. Now, number one was attraction. Number two, we have competition. Okay. Competition. Naturally, as we invest into people, we want to feel like the investment is mutual. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. That our love and care for anyone in our lives is reciprocated back to us. This creates competition for our time with our girlfriend and our best friend, or maybe for you with your boyfriend and your best friend, okay? Because neither person wants to feel left out. But if I'm the only person that, is everyone's fighting for the time, my girlfriend's fighting for my time and my best friend's fighting for my time, I must choose who I am going to spend my time with. I can only be at one place at a time. The problem is the best friend has likely been around longer. So I feel more in debt to her, sometimes, not all the time, than even my own girlfriend. Which means when I'm faced with the decision between the two, I'm more likely to choose my best friend, or if I don't choose my best friend, I feel very guilty for choosing my partner. Right? And if I am the best friend, because remember, we're looking at it from both sides of the coin. If I am the best friend, I want that person to spend as much time with me as they possibly can, which is natural, like we said before. If I'm really into someone and I'm not even into them romantically, but if I'm really invested in someone because we have an ongoing best friendship going on, obviously I want to spend time with them. Obviously, I want us to do things together. Obviously, I want us to keep up with each other and talk to each other and call each other and go out and do things with each other. That's not unnatural. But what happens is, especially when that person is in a relationship, there's always going to be a competition. Now, it's very different. It's similar, actually. Ironically, it's similar to when you have same-sex friends. You know what I mean? When you have best friends that are a girl, if you're a girl, or a guy, if you're a guy, they still want to spend time with you and be with you. But at least the understanding comes that, hey, the time you're spending not with me is with a girl, and I can never be a girl. So there's a little bit of understanding there. It still hurts. But what happens is when you and your girlfriend and your best friend are both girls, and they both want your attention and they both want your time, there becomes that competition for, hey, I'm the girl you should pay the most attention to. I'm the girl you should pay the most attention to. And now they're competing for time. They're competing for your heart in different ways, but in the same way. Okay? And like I said, if this is you in the relationship with the best friend, these are the type of things I want you to be reevaluating. Because even if you might not feel like that, you have to ask yourself, why do I keep this person in my life as a best friend? Why would I need another person of the opposite sex to be that close to me? Right? Is it the personal gain that I'm receiving from that best friendship that's making me keep them around? Or do they have some underlying attraction to me, and we'll get to the other parts as well, towards me, that is making them create this best friendship out of our friendship, where we spend so much time together that it becomes a competition between my best friend and my boyfriend, or in my case, with my best friend and my girlfriend. Okay, right? Because neither person wants to feel left out, right? Sorry, I already said that part. I put a lot of notes down. This is going to be in depth, okay? Now, I'll give you guys an example so that nobody's confused here. I want us all to be of the same understanding, okay? If my girlfriend wants to go to dinner on a dinner date, right? Nothing wrong with that. But my best friend, who maybe I haven't seen in a week or something like that, wants to go to the movies that same day. Okay? Now, if I choose my girlfriend, I feel guilty. Because remember, this is my best friend. We've been hanging out since before my girlfriend and I became a thing. Naturally, my girlfriend wants to spend as much time with me as possible. I have a life, I have a job, I have a career, I have things to do throughout the week. So obviously not all my time can be spent with my girlfriend. There's only a finite amount of free time that I have left over after I take care of everything that needs to be taken care of for me. And so obviously, my girlfriend is naturally going to want to spend as much time with me as possible that I have available. That's not unnatural. But now my best friend begins to feel neglected and complains about us not spending time together. You see how that works? I become conflicted and have to start prioritizing two people who need a lot of my time and attention when I am still just one person. Are you following along so far? Okay, because like I said before, you have two people who are both girls, right? And like we all love attention and love and to be paid attention to and thought of and cared for, right? So you have two people who are both of the same sex, whether it be girl and girl or guy and guy, who both think they deserve your time and attention. Okay? They both want it, which is natural. If they're invested in you, they want you to be invested in them as well. That's not unnatural. But now there's a competition for you. You're only one person. You can only be in one place at a time, and you only have so much time. It's only 24 hours in a day. 8 of them you're asleep. The other, I don't know how many, 8 you're at work. You only have a finite amount of time in the day. And so naturally, that creates a competition between you and the best friend. Or sorry, your girlfriend and the best friend. Or in some cases, the boyfriend and your boyfriend and your best friend. And then if you're the best friend, you as the best friend, and then the person that you're best friends with, that's in a relationship, right? Right? It creates competition where now you guys are all fighting for an opportunity. Marwa says, as the best friend, you should take a step back. Well, it's easier said than done, especially, right, when the best friend has all of these underlying attachments to the person. And this is, I love that Marwa said this, because that was a perfect segue to what we're going to get to next. Okay. And I know I jumped through the first two quickly, but we got 7 right here, and I need detail. Okay. Now, number 1, we had attraction. Number 2, we had competition, and Marwa gave a perfect segue. Number 3, we have jealousy. Okay. After a while, my best friend will begin to feel jealous towards all the love and attention my girlfriend is receiving, especially if she has been accustomed to receiving that love and attention from me since before I was in a relationship. Vice versa, if I'm the best friend to a girl, I will begin to get jealous of her boyfriend because I don't receive the same treatment as him. Okay, this is where we start getting into, Marwa talked about earlier. She said, why doesn't the best friend just take a step back? It's easy in theory to think, oh, well, I just don't have any attachment to this person, so I can just go from them being my best friend, me being able to call them anytime, me being able to hang out with them anytime, me being able to come to them for any time, them, dropping everything for me, to now, all of a sudden, I get put into second place to this random new person that all of a sudden is taking up all of your time and energy. You see how that creates a lot of envy and jealousy in someone. To invest in someone so much for so long, and there's a lot of, we'll talk about hidden feelings and towards that person that don't really get addressed or don't get addressed appropriately. And then you begin to feel that jealousy when you feel like you've been replaced by someone brand new who hasn't even been there as long as you. Whether you're the best friend or whether you're the person in the relationship with the best friend and you're wondering why your best friend is all discombobulated and out of whack now that you're, building this relationship with someone new, because you're under the impression, hey, I thought we were casual best friends. I thought we were just having fun and enjoying each other, right? You're either going to be one of the two. You're either going to be the best friend, one of the three. You're either going to be the best friend who is exhibiting a lot of this behavior and underlying things. You're going to be the boyfriend or the girlfriend, right, who's in the relationship and has the best friend who's kind of between a rock and a hard place that has to balance the two people in your lives. Or you're going to be the partner who's having to deal with the person who has a best friend, okay, or has a best friendship. Okay, so you're going to be one of the three. We've all been one of those three if you've had any extensive relationships, okay? Now, the hierarchy that should happen naturally in the attention your relationship gets, because remember, it's natural. Marwa said it perfect earlier, right? Your best friend should naturally, the regular healthy thing is that your best friend takes a step back and recognizes that now you're in a relationship, so they're not going to be the number one priority, right? That's the natural hierarchy. Whether it's a girl and a girl or a girl and a guy, whatever it may be, it's natural that the best friend understands, okay, it's time for me to take a step back, right? I can't expect the same amount from that person, right? So the natural hierarchy that's supposed to take place in your relationship, right, is met with friction because it makes my best friend jealous of my partner. Okay? And like I said, this even happens in your same sex relationships. It's not just one or the other, because naturally, as someone shifts to spending a lot more time with someone else instead of spending that time with me, and I've been accustomed to you spending that time with me, now I'm a little bit jealous. Now I got some feelings, not just towards you, but I got some feelings towards the person you're spending all your time with. Okay? Missy America says, I would introduce my BF and vice versa, right? If I had a best friend that's a guy. That's also easier said than done. And for some of you, I know you guys have tried that, but you have to understand, when these dynamics have been established, there's no amount of meeting with each other that can make it comfortable for either party, because it's uncomfortable for your partner. And it's also uncomfortable for the person that is the best friend, because there's a lot of underlying things happening that maybe you weren't even aware of. We'll get to it. Okay, we'll get to it. Disneki says, this is triggering me. I would hope so, because that means you're learning something. Okay, right? Chantelli says, I'm straight as a nail. I've told her nothing will happen between us, but we've been besties for 17 years. That's great. And the thing about it is, see, you gave me such a perfect segue. We'll get to what you just said, Chanelli, because that's awesome what you said. Okay. And I love that you said that, because it's a perfect segue to our next point. Okay. Right. So, but as it relates to jealousy, I'll give you guys an example so that we're all on the same page. Right. I drop everything I am doing with my best friend. Let's say we go out, we're at laser tag. I don't know. We're playing laser tag at some arcade place. And as soon as my girlfriend calls me, she's like, hey, can you come pick me up from work? Like, I couldn't get a ride back from work. I would really appreciate it if you could pick me up, right? Let's imagine at that moment, I get that call. We're in the middle of laser tag. I drop everything I am doing with my best friend. When my girlfriend calls and I go to meet her and pick her up from work, right? My best friend will begin to become jealous that when I'm with my girlfriend, she can never reach me. Or when I'm with my girlfriend and she texts me and she's like, hey, it's an emergency. I'm like, hold up. I got to deal with the situation with my girlfriend first. Or I got to take care of my girlfriend first and make sure she's all good. And so that envy and that jealousy builds up in my best friend, my best friendship, that she's now like, I don't get the same treatment as her, or I'm not as much of a priority as her, or when I need you, you're not there for me. Because you used to be there for me, and all of a sudden this new person comes along and you're no longer there for me. Like I said, that inspires and grows a lot of jealousy in that person or in you if you're the best friend. Okay? And Chantelli said something really amazing, right? About, you know, she's really straight with it, and there's been you've been best friends for 17 years, right? And this is where we all have to be of the same understanding, okay? Number 4, so we had number 1 was attraction, number 2 was competition, number 3 was jealousy. Number 4 is hidden feelings. This is where we're going to get super deep. This is where I need you guys to pay really close attention, because we're going to get to it, okay? Hidden feelings. Right? What is that? Is that it? Oh my gosh. Anyways, sorry, I think that was like an ant. I had to kill the ant. No, I didn't actually. I just let it go. So hidden feelings, very important, right? Hidden feelings will get you messed up a lot of times in these best friendships. Because I know for some of you, it's easy to sit back and say, well, I don't have any feelings for my best friend. I don't feel any ways towards them. So our relationship is completely platonic. There's nothing going on. I don't feel anything. I don't want anything from my best friend. I don't ever imagine us being together. If you don't feel like that, then I guarantee you the person you're in this best friendship with feels like that. I guarantee you, 100%. You want to know why I know your best friend feels like that if you don't feel like that? Because they wouldn't waste all their time invested in you in this best friendship if they didn't have some hidden feelings towards you. Now, this is where I know a lot of you guys don't want to hear this. A lot of you guys don't want to hear me talk about this. A lot of you guys don't want to hear me address this, because this requires some accountability on your part if you've been the best friend, or if you have a best friend and you're in a relationship. So I know some of you guys just want to be in denial. And I know for some of you women as well, you may have a guy friend and you're so convinced that nothing's going on between me and my guy friend, but you never stop to ask yourself, do I actually know how my guy friend feels, or have I been projecting what I feel onto my guy friend? Meaning, because I feel like there's nothing going on, because I feel like I have no feelings for my guy friend, because I feel like there's nothing romantic in between me and my guy friend, and it's all platonic, that I assume my guy friend feels the same. Yet he's always there for me. Yet he's always taking care of me. Yet he's always making sure that my needs are met. He's extremely invested in me for a long period of time, but it's only because he just wants to be my best friend so much, not because he has any romantic feelings towards me. This is where things start getting complicated, because a lot of times these best friends, one of the best friends, it's usually only one, because if it was both, they'd be together. One of these best friends is hiding their feelings for the other person. So if it's not you, and truly it's not you, like you know and you feel in your heart, it's not you hiding the feelings for them, right? You have no feelings toward them. Then it's likely it is them hiding their feelings towards you, whether they've addressed it or not. Because the truth of the matter is, they wouldn't be, if they're attracted to your sex, they wouldn't be as invested in you as they have been, as consistent with you as they have been, if they didn't want to be with you romantically, whether that is conscious to them or underneath their conscious in the subconscious. There's no reason they would have invested in you so much and for so long if they didn't feel anything towards you? Okay? That's why hidden feelings is such a big thing. A lot of times, guys are accepting of the best friend role, right? It's because a lot of times it is guys. Sometimes it's girls as well. I don't want to just single out the guys because truly the girls do it as well. A lot of times they're accepting of the best friend role as a way of staying close to the girl that they like or want to be with that doesn't like them the same way. This is where we're going to get into something interesting, because remember I talked about the three perspectives. You're either the person in the relationship that has the girlfriend or boyfriend and the best friend, or you're the person who has the partner that has the best friend, or you're the best friend. There's also a scenario in which your partner, let's say you're a girl, you have a boyfriend that has a best friend. You're in your mind imagining, oh, he has a best friend, so that means that girl likes him. But sometimes these guys, right, get into relationships with people having unresolved feelings for their best friend who might be still single, but just doesn't want to be with them. And so eventually they come to the realization they're going to have to accept that and explore other relationships, but they keep that best friendship going, right? Because they still have those hidden feelings towards that person, but they know that that person doesn't have any feelings towards them. You see what I'm saying, right? Now, being best friends allows you to stay close to someone who you have feelings for while you wait around, hoping that the situation might change, and eventually you and the best friend that you have will be together. This can happen from either perspective. Like I said, the person who has the feelings, the hidden feelings, might be the person in the relationship, just waiting for their best friend to come to the conclusion that they should be together instead. Or it can be the best friend with the hidden feelings that's now even more jealous because now that person's in a new relationship. And so now they're sitting around and they're waiting for things to change. And we're going to get into why that's a very bad situation for the relationship. When you have someone who's a best friend who is actively waiting for things to change or wants them to change. Okay? Because those hidden feelings will push people to do a lot of things. And this is where you come in if you're the person who has a partner that has a best friend. Because it only hurts your relationship when that best friend has hidden feelings towards your partner. And I know for a lot of you guys are more emotionally intelligent than you even give yourself credit for. I know for a lot of you can feel that. You can feel the girl best friend that has unresolved feelings for your man. Okay? You know, because deep down, the same way me as a guy, I know that guys aren't going to invest themselves truly in a woman unless there's some sort of romantic interest there. Is the same way there's certain type of girls, they ain't going to be sticking around, investing all their time with you, taking you out to this, making sure your needs are met, doing all this stuff with you if they had no feelings towards you. It doesn't make sense. So I know for a lot of you, you've spotted this behavior, these hidden feelings in your partner's best friend even before they realized it themselves. Okay? Right? Even before the person realized it themselves. Okay? Now, I'll give you guys an example. After a year of being platonic friends, let's say I confess to a girl that I have always wanted to be with her and be romantic with her, but I just never got the chance to, and we just been such good friends, I didn't want to mess it up. But now I feel like I need to say how I feel. Let's say that, for example. And let's say when I tell her how I feel, when I express how I feel, she shuts my feelings down and says she only thinks of me as a friend. I then say in the friendship, I then stay in the friendship and take on the best friend role to get the same time and attention that a boyfriend would receive in a relationship. At the same time, I am hoping that the time we spend together will eventually show her that she does like me too, and we can finally be a romantic couple. Okay? Disney says the best friend knew he was playing with me. She pretended she didn't know we were even together. I love that. You saying exactly the stuff I'm about to get into, right? Because those hidden feelings, and sometimes they're not so hidden. Sometimes they get brought to the surface, and when someone realizes that they aren't going to be accepted by the other person, they bring them back, to the underneath, and they just let them rock. Right? So like I gave in the example, it's like you express to someone, hey, I would love to take things further. They tell you that they're not interested in taking things further. They'd rather just continue being friends. And so because you don't want to lose that person, the only option is to continue being friends. And a lot of those people pull that person closer and say, okay, let's be best friends. Let's be platonic best friends where we do everything together. We hang out all the time. We go out to eat together. We go out to parties together. We go to each other's houses. We have movie nights. We do everything that a boyfriend and girlfriend do except sleep together, because that will make me feel like we are together, because I have hidden or unresolved feelings towards you that either I've addressed and you shut down, or I've never addressed. And I just hope that one day, this will all come to a point where we end up together. Okay? That's why the hidden feelings can be so dangerous. And you can find yourself, because I know a lot of times we talk about getting played, you can find yourself getting played by someone who is in one of these best friendships. Or you can find yourself hurting your relationship by being the person in this best friendship. Because if you don't want to do have the responsibility of stepping outside yourself and really asking yourself, hey, if I'm trying to build a relationship with a new person, is it really the healthiest thing to have this ongoing best friendship when I know that I'm not romantically attached to that person, but I can't really ensure that that person isn't romantically attached to me or has any romantic desire for me. Okay? Because like I said, for some of you who might be the person that just has the best friend and you're like, hey, I don't have any feelings towards my best friend. I don't have any issues with them dating anyone or anything like that. Maybe your best friend has hidden feelings for you, which is where you need to step outside of yourself and take a step back and realize, hey, does my best friend have feelings for me? Because if that is the truth and you're trying to actively pursue relationships, your relationships are going to suffer because of this best friendship. And I know that sounds scary, but these 3 points are going to clearly address to you why your relationship will suffer if this best friend has these hidden unresolved feelings towards you, right? So number 1, we had attraction. Number 2, we had competition. Number 3 is jealousy. Number 4 was hidden feelings. Number 5 we have here is waiting. Okay? Number 5 is waiting. One person or the other is holding out on the friendship, either hoping that their current relationship ends or that their best friend eventually realizes that they were meant to be together instead. This leads to the advice. This is the really important part I want you to pay attention to. This leads to the advice from the best friend leaning towards pessimistic views, right? Pessimistic just means negative. And advice that makes the person in the relationship likely to end it. I'm going to break that down for those of you guys who are a little bit confused, right? Because let's imagine, right? If you're the best friend with the hidden feelings for someone, and you know that you have those hidden feelings that are unresolved, or you feel a way towards the person, that person then gets into a relationship. Well, naturally, you still want to be with that person. It's not going to change because they got into a relationship. You still spend time with that person. You're still invested in that person. So what happens then? Now, your best friend is coming to you about their relationship. Why? Because you're the best friend. So they feel like they can trust you with anything. They feel like you guys are close. They feel like, you guys have a lot of conversation about stuff, and he wants to share with you everything that's going on in his relationship, right? Or she wants to share with me everything that's going on in her relationship. But what am I most likely to do if I have hidden unresolved feelings towards her and she's in a relationship? All the advice I give is always going to be focused on how I can best get them to end their relationship, whether it be on a conscious level or on a subconscious level. Why? Because if I want to be with that person, or I have some sort of hidden desire to be with that person, I don't want my best friend to have a really good, amazing relationship. I don't want my best friend to flourish in that relationship and it continues to grow and grow and get stronger. And then I continue to get iced out more and more and more and more until I'm non-existent in their life. Why would I want that? And so you see very quickly, if you're in this mishmash, pish posh of a situation, you can find yourself in a situation where, let's say you're the partner and you have a partner, and the closest person, the second person, closest person to your partner outside of you is actively trying to work against your relationship. Okay? And if you're the partner, or if you're the person with the partner that has the best friend, and that best friend has those unresolved hidden feelings for your partner, now that creates even more competition, because now you're not just competing for time with someone that's in your partner's life. You're competing for time with someone who actively wants to take you away from your partner, right? And put a wall in between you. Okay? And these partners, like I said, will wait as long as possible. In the process of waiting, they'll also take that opportunity to try to get what they want. And you'll have someone sitting around. You don't even want that energy of having someone sitting around waiting for your relationship to end. Because if they're going to wait it out and wait it out and wait it out, and they're going to be like a pest, just, a fly just buzzing around your ear. Just pesky, that you feel like you can't get rid of. I know I gave you guys an example, but I'll give you guys another example, right? If I want a girl all to myself, when she comes to advice from me about her boyfriend, I'm more likely to give an opinion or perspective that best serves my subconscious goal of getting them to break up. So what will I do? I'll hype her up and tell her how, oh my God, I can't believe your boyfriend did that to you. Oh my God, I can't believe you let him treat you like that. That's ridiculous. You deserve so much better than him. Right? And that best friend, a lot of times, will start planting seeds in the mind of your partner to convince them that they should get rid of you or get rid of the relationship. Gabriella says, hello, King. How are you doing? Okay? And I'm saying this so that you can be more aware of what's going on under the surface if you're in a best friendship, right? Or if you're the partner of someone in a best friendship. Because rest assured, this is happening, whether it be with one person or it be with your partner. right? Whether it be the best friend that's having these unresolved feelings or it be your partner that has these unresolved feelings. Okay? And these are the things I want you to be thinking about so you can properly identify them. Okay? So, number 1, we had attraction. Number 2, we had competition. Number 3, we had jealousy. Number 4, we had hidden feelings. Number 5 was waiting. And number 6, we have validation. Okay? Validation. Okay? Very important. Because my reason for being the person's best friend could also be the validation and ego boost I receive from their attention and admiration. Remember, I told you guys at the beginning, it's not always about just your physical attraction to someone. Sometimes you grow a best friendship with someone because they're willing to constantly validate you and make you feel good about yourself. That when you go out and you have your relationships or you have your talking stages and situationships, and they don't work out, or the guy mistreats you, or, does you wrong, does you dirty, you now have your best friend to fall back on that's always going to tell you, hey, you deserve so much better. You're so beautiful and amazing. I can't believe he doesn't see that. You're so awesome and caring and loving. I can't believe people don't see that. And what does that do for you? It gives you an ego boost. It gives you validation. It makes you feel good about yourself. And so you keep that best friend around knowing that the best friend has unresolved feelings towards you or hidden feelings towards you. But you also know because they have those feelings towards you, you can use that to your advantage to get the ego boost that you want from the best friend. This is why I say there's so many intricate details to this stuff that a lot of times people don't want to address because they don't want to have to take responsibility for it, because they don't want to have to admit that it is a little bit or a lot of bit inappropriate, even though it's not going out and sleeping with someone. Okay? Because the reality of it is this is all happening under the surface, right? I know that a lot of you guys think, oh, well, I have a best friend and I'm not keeping them around because I'm attracted to them. Well, then maybe you're keeping them around because of the personal gain you receive, because of the ego boost you receive, because of the confidence that they give you and the fact that you know you can fall back on them because they'll constantly validate you. And it's the same thing for guys as well. Sometimes guys aren't attracted to girls physically, but they keep that girl around with no intention of dating her because they know that as soon as they feel bad about themselves or a girl does them wrong or there's no one to reach out to or talk to or spend time with, that girl will easily validate him, make him feel good about himself, tell him he's handsome, tell him he's the man, tell him he's amazing, and boost his ego, right? And he uses that to his advantage, so he keeps that girl around as a best friend, knowing that that girl wants to be in a relationship with him. Okay? Right? She's been her best friend for 17 years. Right? But her best friend is probably in love with her and secretly has been waiting for them to get together one day. I'm telling you, I think you were talking about, I think it was Chanelli that said that. I can't remember who it was that gave that the 17 years thing, right? But it's true. If someone is willing to, just let's be for real, assuming that they're attracted to your sex, if someone is willing to invest 17 years into you, let's be so for real. Let's be so for real. If someone is willing to invest 17 years in you and they're attracted to your sex, they most likely they have an attraction to you. Let's just be so for real. They want to be with you. There's no way and I'm talking, and don't get me wrong, guys. I won't go to the extreme and say, oh, you can't have a single friend of the opposite sex. But let's be so for real. When we're talking about best friends, when we're talking about hanging out all the time, when we're talking about hanging out consistently, speaking all the time, texting all the time, calling all the time, seeing each other all the time, let's be so for real. There's no reason you would be invested in someone to that extent of the opposite sex unless there was feelings on one side or the other or both, maybe in some cases. Okay? Let's be so for real. Right? And so, did I do number 6 yet? So number 1 was attraction. Number 2 was competition. Number 3 was jealousy. Number 4 was hidden feelings. Number 5, waiting. And number 6, right? It was validation. I think I already said it earlier, right? Validation. Because you feel that ego boost, right? Marwal said, yeah, we've done validation, right? So the example I have here, my girlfriend never compliments me or makes me feel like the man. Oh, so sad. So I go to my best friend and I tell her how poorly she treats me, knowing that when I tell her that, she'll tell me how strong and handsome I am and how any girl would be lucky to be with me. How's that going to make me feel? That's going to make me feel good. That's going to make me feel confident. That's going to make me feel amazing. So what do I get? I get personal gain. Even if I'm not attracted to my best friend, I get the personal gain from knowing that now I get to have someone who will boost my ego, boost my confidence anytime that I need her to, because I know she's got some feelings towards me. Even though I don't got no feelings towards her, I keep her around as a best friend to continue feeling good about myself. Fruzy said, you deserve so much more viewers. I really appreciate that. You guys got to share the live and like it so that I can get more viewers. That's what helps me, especially on TikTok. Okay? That's what helps if you guys love this content. So number 6 was validation. Okay? Number 7, and the most important one. Okay? Reason why men and women can't be best friends in a relationship while in a relationship. Number 7 is sabotage. Okay. If I know I want to be with my best friend, but my best friend is in a relationship, I will consistently be trying to sabotage their relationship so that it can end and I won't have to try and compete for my best friend. Okay? Remember how I talked about the competition? Remember how I talked about the jealousy and the hidden feelings and the attraction on one side or the other? This all leads to a situation where now your partner is closest with your biggest enemy. Okay? Because you're invested in your partner, but your partner is also invested in someone who is actively trying to put a wall between you and your partner. This is why this can quickly become such a dangerous slope. Or you might be the partner of the person with the best friend and realize that your partner actually is the one with unresolved feelings for their best friend. And the only reason they're with you is because they can't be with their best friend. Because I know for some of you might be the girl and have a boyfriend who has a girl best friend. And if you were to dig deeper into the origin of their friendship, you'll realize that it's really your boyfriend who has the unresolved feelings for that girl best friend. And because she shut him down, but she still wants the validation and the ego boost, she kept him around as the best friend. So now he's stuck in the friend zone, giving a whole bunch of validation and attention, hoping that one day it might turn into something, but she strings him along, knowing that it never will because she wants the constant attention and validation. Now you're sitting back as the girlfriend and you're confused why your boyfriend is chasing after this girl and giving her all this time and attention. and treating her like a girlfriend when all they're supposed to be is friends, platonic friends. Okay, I'll give you an example actually that was brought to me in a message that I helped a girl with. She literally told me, she was going through the situation basically how I described it. She literally told me that she was with her boyfriend, and her boyfriend would constantly get calls from his best friend, from his best friend, who's a girl. He would literally, if they were sitting and watching a movie, he would get up off of the couch, go to his best friend's house and spend time with her no matter what was going on. And as long as she needed him and she said it was an emergency, he'd get up off the couch and go meet her no matter what time it was, no matter what he was doing. And she was like, I don't know what to do. Because he says they don't do anything. He says they just have movie nights, or they'll talk, or they'll just hang out, and nothing has happened. But she recently got out of a breakup, and now that she's out of a breakup, she's always asking him to hang out. And like I told you guys, sometimes it's not even about, the best friend necessarily even wants to be in a relationship. Sometimes the best friend, one of the friends doesn't want to be in the relationship, but they keep the best friendship going because they want the attention and they want the validation. And it still becomes a slippery slope, because that's when you get into the sabotage. And like in the example I gave of the girl that was going through that, what do you think that best friend is going to be telling the boyfriend when he starts talking about his relationship? She's going to be encouraging him to leave you if you're the partner, or to spend more time with her, because that's where he should be. Because people are selfish. If she's the best friend and she likes him, or she enjoys the attention and the validation she gets from knowing that he likes her, naturally she's going to want to keep the status quo. So why would she want your relationship to flourish? Right? I'm not saying all this to put you on guard all the time and to make you feel tense about any friendship that your partner might have. But I do want to be truthful with you so that you can actually take this information and understand what's going on and not be so confused why you feel uncomfortable about something that everyone else is saying shouldn't make you feel uncomfortable. Because everyone else will tell you that, hey, having best friends, there's nothing wrong with having a best friend. Having a best friend is just, it's natural. Your partner should be able to have friends, and your partner should be able to hang out with people, and your partner should be an individual, and your partner. But then when your partner comes to you with the story about how they got drunk and they accidentally kissed or made out with their best friend, now it's not as harmless. Now it's not as platonic. Now you're confused why everyone told you not to worry about something, and now that's the one thing that you actually have to worry about. Okay? And I say this to say you should be wary of the best friendships that you have that might have these things underlying, even if you don't feel it, might have them underlying for the person that you're in this best friendship with. You also should be cautious of people who come to the table and begin dating you that are of the mindset that, hey, I should, be with, have all these best friends that are of the opposite sex, and that's okay. Camilla says, what if the guy is bisexual? I only, out of respect for the fact that I've only experienced straight heterosexual relationships with women, I don't speak on anything else, because it would be misinformed of me to speak on how other people think or go about relationships if I have never experienced that. I don't have a PhD. I don't have write a bunch of theses on relationships. I don't study psychology. So for me to I only speak from my experiences. So for me to speak on someone who might be bisexual and how they go about their best friends or relationships and stuff like that, it would be misinformed. But what I will say is that in that case, it becomes an even more slippery slope, because where do you draw the line on anything? Okay? Where do you draw the line on anything? Because that's the problem with these best friend ships. Everything is gray, and everyone wants to pretend like because we're not sleeping together, it makes it not inappropriate. Okay? And the problem is things get inappropriate very fast, but they happen because we're allowing all of this gray area. And the other problem is when you get into a relationship with someone who is of the beliefs, oh, I should be able to have all these best friends and do all this stuff, and you allow them to live in all that gray area, you only end up suffering because all that gray creates what? A lack of clarity. You see how it all ties in now to everything that we've been talking about, right? There's a lack of clarity when you're allowed to have all these best friends that you do everything that you would do with your girlfriend. You spend almost as much as time as you would with your girlfriend, but somehow that's not your girlfriend. How do I say no to you guys going out on a dinner date? Because I wouldn't let you go out on a dinner date with a random girl that you met at the club, but somehow you can go on dinner dates once a week with your best friend because it's your best friend. And so what happens when we're not seeing eye to eye? You're still going to be hanging out with your best friend? How does that work? Right? And you see how very quickly, once you have this whole best friend situation and you have your partner or you actively spending as much time or close to it with someone of the opposite sex, and you have a relationship ongoing, or that person is in a relationship with you that's ongoing, things begin to get messy very, very fast. Moonlight said best friend was getting prioritized over me. 100%. I agree. It happens all the time. And let me give you guys this example as it relates to sabotage, okay? Let's say I know I want my best friend subconsciously, because nobody wants to admit they'd ever do anything bad. Let's say subconsciously, I know that I have hidden feelings for my best friend. I also know I'm not really too fond of her boyfriend. I think she deserves better. I think she deserves someone more like me. And let's say she's in the bathroom while her phone rings and it's her boyfriend calling. I might see the phone and choose to answer the phone while she's in the bathroom and tell her boyfriend, hey, don't worry calling her right now. She's busy. We're doing something right now and we're hanging out. She'll call you back later. I know as the best friend that would likely upset her boyfriend. But subconsciously, that's what I want. And I want them to have a fight or an argument or a disagreement because me and her are hanging out, because me and her get along so well, because me and her spend so much quality time together. And so I may do that or other subtle things that seem harmless, but I know causes friction in their relationship. Right? Eva says, even when you're sad and going through things and he's with the girl instead of you, 100%. Chloe said, could you imagine? I'm telling you that this really happens. And I know for some of you, a lot of you, you've actually experienced this happening, whether you've been the best friend or whether you've been in a relationship with someone who has the best friend. This is why, and the reason I give you this, not to scare you. I know a lot of the stuff I talk about can scare you, but the reason I give you this is to make you more aware of what's going on so that you'll know when I meet the person that is really serious about being in a relationship, they'll be able to let go of this idea that they should have a best friend that they spend all their time with. I didn't say that they can't have friends in general, but there's a big difference between having a casual friend or a coworker that you hang out with at work events versus having a best friend that you see and speak to every week, you go out to every week, and you spend alone time with all the time. There's a very big difference. And I know for those of us who live in, the Western civilization, We've normalized the idea of, oh, everything's cool. Let's all be friends. Let's all sing kumbaya and hold hands. Oh, but by the way, I'm holding my best friend's hand and I kind of think my best friend's super attractive and good looking, and I kind of fantasize about being with my best friend. But let's all be friends and hold hands and sing kumbaya while I'm with my partner and I fantasize about being with my best friend. Like, this is the type of stuff, and it makes me mad, to be honest. It makes me mad. Because this is the type of stuff you need to be identifying the people who are not yet mature enough emotionally to grasp the concept of why this is inappropriate. Okay? Because if you find yourself in a relationship with someone or dating someone who doesn't understand why it would be inappropriate for them to have an ongoing best friendship with someone of the opposite sex, then, you know, they don't get it. In which case, you'll only end up fighting them for the rest of the relationship, and you're just going to be wasting your breath repeating the same thing over and over and over again. Because if the best friend thing is an issue at the beginning, the best friend thing will be an issue 6 months from now. The best friend thing will be an issue 1 year from now. It doesn't change or adjust. Right? Doesn't change or adjust. Enlightened Day in the YouTube chat says a video Tony Gaskins has called Men and Women Can't Be Friends. He said making love is through pure conversation, not having sex. That's fulfilling lust, so you'll end up falling in love with them or falling for them, or vice versa. I 100% agree. All that time and attention and investment you spend in someone is building and cultivating and shaping that relationship. Make no mistake about it. Don't let people confuse you by telling you, oh, it's not that serious. Oh, everything's all right. Oh, don't worry about it. We're just friends. It's just cool. Chloe said it perfectly. That emotional intimacy, right? And I'm telling you, like, this stuff plagues relationships. And it's probably plagued you at some point in your span of, you know, dating people and being in relationships with people. Because the people that don't get it. And those are the people that don't ever have good, healthy, long-term relationships. Because they all have these unresolved feelings, or their best friend has unresolved feelings towards them. And it always brings a whirlwind of drama and things that just don't make, you're creating, it's almost like there's soil, right? And you're trying to grow a plant, you're trying to blossom a tree. And when you have this best friend thing going on, you're always creating an environment where your tree can never properly blossom into what it's supposed to be, because the environment is completely wrong for it. You can't grow a relationship with someone if they're also prioritizing growing their relationship with someone else. Now, not saying that they can't have friends, not saying they can't have family members or things that they care about. But when that person becomes as important as you in the relationship, or you're competing for time in your relationship with one particular person, that's not good. That is not good. Okay? Because one way or another, that best friendship is going to pull the relationship apart. It's the truth. And so if you're in a relationship with someone who can't let go of their best friend, you're better off letting them go so they can go and figure out what situation they have with their best friend, instead of wasting your time and energy and breath trying to convince someone or explain to them why it's inappropriate for them to have this ongoing best friendship with someone that they can't let go of. Now, I'm not saying when you get into a relationship with someone, you tell them, hey, I'm telling you right now, if we're going to get into a relationship, you got to block your best friend. That's not what I'm saying. Don't take it to an extreme. But what I am saying is, if when you get into this relationship and it becomes serious, if there's not an understanding that they're going to take an active step back from that best friendship, if they're not willing to do that or understanding of why they should be doing that, then there probably is some unresolved feelings in that situation that is still going on that should really be addressed, and might even lead to you having to step away from the relationship if they're not ready to address it, or they aren't capable of addressing it appropriately. You understand what I'm saying? All right. Do you guys understand everything that we talked about? Do you guys have any questions as it relates to the stuff that we talked about? I want to make sure that I answer for you guys in detail this, because I know some of you guys have been through it. I know some of you guys have experienced it. I know some of you guys may be the person that has the best friendship. And so now I'm opening your eyes to things a little bit more, which is also good, because you'll be surprised, right? When you start looking at your best friendships and you start realizing, oh, maybe that person had feelings for me. And now I see I'm coming to that same person that has feelings for me about my relationship. That might be disturbing my relationships. Right? Stephanie says, Stephanie says, I'm at the point where I think I don't deserve nothing but an F-boy. That's a mindset thing. And so that's exactly what you're going to get. You're going to get nothing but an F-boy. Your mind, and we talk about this all the time with spirituality, your mind will show you whatever it is that you believe. Mara says, my boy best friend sabotaged my relationship with my BF. I'm telling you, this stuff happens. And the thing about it is, right? Now that I've explained it, why are you surprised? Because clearly he's sabotaging it because he has hidden feelings for you, whether they've been addressed or haven't been addressed. He's got that jealousy. He feels like he's in competition and he has attraction towards you. So he's waiting and trying to sabotage your relationship. Baby Love says, what should I do if my man is kind of, let's see here. If my man is kind of pulling away, please help. It depends on your specific situation. From now on, guys, right? If you really want me to answer your question, I will do that. If you really want it. But the way I'm going to be answering, all as many questions as I can now, I'll obviously do some on Instagram. But what I really want you guys to do now is you got to go into the Discord. And in the Discord, you'll see a section that talks about, let me see what it says here. It's so amazing. Life Sucks. I don't know if she's here right now, but she helped set it up. So now when you go into the Discord, you'll be able to see a section in the Discord that says relationship advice. And it's a thread where you can put in your question, kind of like you would on Reddit. And then you can ask your question, explain the situation. And then what I'm going to do is for some of these, I'm going to bring them up on stream and we'll discuss them on stream. So if you have a whole situation that's juicy, that's got a lot of drama to it, I want you guys to go into the Discord, post it into the Discord in the relationship advice section. And when we get on the live stream, I will address it for you. Okay? That's what I want you guys. That way I can help you, but I can also help other people who have been through a similar or the same situation. Also, if you join the Discord and you want to come on the show live, okay? You want to come on the show live. You don't have to show your face, but you want to tell your story and get my response live on the show. We can do that and we can have you call in, but you have to join the Discord. So join the Discord and then send me a message on there. And then we can get you joined live on there one of these days during the week, and we can have your question asked and be answered live on the air. You can call in. Okay, we can do that on Discord. That'll be awesome. Okay, so make sure you guys are joining the Discord. For those of you guys who don't know, my Discord on TikTok is available in my bio on TikTok, so you can get the Discord link from there and join it. And then for whoever of you wants to either call in, or you can put your question, you can put your question in the relationship thread. Life Sucks. I don't know if she's here, but she's the one that made it so amazing that you guys can do that. So thank you so much to Life Sucks is her username, for being able to do that for me and for all of you beautiful people. Okay, so make sure you're joined in on the Discord. We've got probably 30 members on the Discord so far. So make sure you're joined on the Discord if you either want a chance for me to answer your question live on air, or you want to call in and have me answer your question live on air. Either way, it will be an amazing, amazing experience. Okay. Sorry. So as it relates to the topic of why men and women can't be friends, do you guys have any more questions? Marwa says someone call in, please. Trust me, the first call in will be amazing. I'm so excited to be able to do that with you guys because that will be awesome. So if you really want to call in and talk to me about your situation, we can do it live on air. Maybe we'll do it tomorrow if someone calls in and they really want to share their situation, and I'll answer it live on air for them as well. I posted in the YouTube chat, for those of you curious, I posted the Discord link for you, so you can go ahead and look at the Discord link and join it if you're not part of the Discord already. Eve said it won't let me join the Discord. I believe you have to open it in your browser. So when you open it, you got to click over into your browser for it to actually properly allow you to join for real. You got to click open in browser. Let me just make sure that it works properly. Let's see here. Open in browser, accept invite. Yeah, open it in browser once you open it, and then you should be able to do it. Okay. Now, yes. So any more questions as it relates to why men and women can't be best friends in a relationship? I want to make sure that I get to everyone as much as I possibly can. Okay. Baby Love says, I hate dating these days. That's why we have this. We join each other. We talk about this every single weekday, and we have a live discussion, and all the information is available to you to rewatch, so that we can get through this together. Okay. I know it's tough, but you can have your amazing relationship. Okay. It's very possible. Lena Leek said earlier, she said, was I wrong to go to the movies with the guy I knew for years when the guy I was dating for 2 months was away? Did you tell your boyfriend or that at the time that you were going to the movies with this guy? And if you did, right, if you only went to the movies with this guy while your boyfriend was away, you have to ask yourself, why did you only go to the movies with him while your boyfriend was away, and you never thought to go to the movies with him while you guys were together? Okay? That's why I say sometimes, and I'm not saying this to blame you, but sometimes these best friendships are a combination of the two, because remember, I said sometimes it can be personal gain, sometimes it can be the attraction, and a lot of times it's usually a little bit of both, right? On both sides. So one person has the attraction, which is why they want to be the best friend, and then the other person gets the personal gain of the ego boost or the validation or the attention from someone who's into them, right? Lena Leek says it was coincidental that the invite came while he was gone. The friend didn't even know I was dating. Well, then you have a couple problems on your hand. If this person is that close to you, and I've heard this before actually, if this person is that close to you, I know you didn't say that was your best friend, but if this person is that close to you, why didn't they know that you were dating someone? And if they did know, do you think that would have changed their desire to ask you to go to the movies? You see how that works? And sometimes we like to play this game with ourselves where we'd be like, oh, I just didn't tell them that I was in a relationship because I didn't even think it mattered, or I forgot, or, I never got a chance to mention it. But in reality, if you really wanted to mention it, you could have gone out of your way to mention it. You just didn't go out of your way to mention it because you wanted the opportunity to still have their validation and attention in case something went wrong. I'm not saying you're a good or a bad person because of that, and I'm not blaming Lena Leek or anything like that. And as an individual, I'm just speaking on the concept. We have to accept that a lot of times we're doing things, especially when it comes to this gray area of best friendships or friendships, when we're having a relationship, we do a lot of things because sometimes we want to keep our options open. We do a lot of things because sometimes we don't want to make it seem like we're doing something inappropriate or feel like we're doing something inappropriate. So we do something that feels less inappropriate. Okay. Marwa says, I think you're making excuses for yourself. You're definitely in the wrong. I don't like to tell you guys if you're wrong or right. And especially, you guys are girls. So do what you think you must do. But I definitely would say, coincidence or not, that he asked you while your boyfriend was away for 2 months, it does look suspicious that the 2 months in which he was gone is the time period in which you would choose to go to the movies with a man. Not single you out, Lenny, just because you asked the question. Okay. What if they don't ever go out together alone, but they are very close? And sorry, let me pull the message back up. But they are very close and go out in a group. Well, okay, that in itself is not inappropriate, but then you have to ask yourself, okay, this group of friends, right, that they're going out and they're hanging out with, they're consistently going out with this group of friends and hanging out, and this is the best friend. Also, if they're hanging out with a group of friends, why do you single out that particular best friend? This is where I say you also have to like be in touch with your intuition, because if that person is going out with a group of friends, why did you single out that particular best friend then? Because that means that there's something you're feeling or seeing more than them just hanging out with a group of friends that has made you single out that particular best friend or good friend. Because if they were truly just hanging out with a group of friends and everyone was equal and the same, you wouldn't have the feeling to single out one friend in particular, right? Morningstar says, any single person here? I think literally 90% of the chat is single women. I'm almost positive of that. Maybe 10% is women in relationships, and maybe 1% is men. So Eve says they would have invited you. Yes, your intuition, it never fails, right? So if you feel like there's one person in particular, even though it's a group of friends and there's one person in particular that this friendship is developing in a weird, inappropriate way, it's not because you're crazy. It's because your intuition is telling you that there's more going on than just the friendship. And you're not an idiot. Trust me, you're not an idiot. I've been where you are now. Trust me. I've been where you are now, where you question yourself, oh, but this is just a friendship. It doesn't mean anything. I'm just being crazy. I just feel things that aren't really there. No. You feel things that are there. You just can't put your finger on it. You can't touch it, right? And it's not three-dimensional, but you can feel it in your soul and you can feel it in your spirit. Don't question that. You're not crazy, okay? I've been there, guys. I don't talk to you about this stuff like someone who wrote their PhD and wrote a thesis and read a bunch of books and wrote a bunch of essays out, but never actually experienced what it's like to be in a real relationship. I talk to you about stuff that's I've really experienced. So I know what it's like to feel like you're insane because you're like, this friendship is inappropriate. I know and I feel in my heart that this is inappropriate. I might not be able to tell you, hey, it's inappropriate because you guys slept together 3 times on April 21st, but I know that what I feel is not fake. It is inappropriate. Okay. That's why I broke this down for you guys so that you guys can understand the things that go on behind the scenes of these best friendships, that you can better quantify and put your finger on what are the things you feel that are inappropriate about that best friendship if it's you and your partner is the one that has the best friendship, right? Enlightened A in the YouTube chat says, what are your thoughts on my guy friends of 10 years always being there for me, but never wanting to be girlfriend and boyfriend? I think he's genuine, but I don't know. Well, you have to look at it as, be honest with yourself. What are they gaining from being, if they're your guy friend, right? Because there's different levels of friendship. If they're just your casual guy friend and you guys hang out every once in a while and talk maybe like, once every 2 weeks, that's totally different. If we're talking about a best friend, 10 years of your life, and you guys spend like, see each other at least once a week, ask yourself and step outside of yourself and really look at what is he gaining and what are you gaining? It might be different, but you guys are gaining something. Whether it be you gaining the attention or I don't even want to say attention, but whether you gaining the knowing that there's someone out there that will always care for you and take care of you, that you can run to anytime your relationships aren't working out. You're gaining something from that. And maybe it's the same thing for him, or maybe it's that plus his attraction to you. Because I'll be honest with you, guys are not investing 10 years of their life being okay. I don't want to get mad, but we're talking about men here. Let's be so for real. Some of you can't even get a guy to text you back 2 days in a row. Okay? And you expect me to believe that those same men that you can't even get consistency from 2 days in a row are going to invest 10 years of their life being consistent with someone they don't have any feelings towards. Be so for real. Be so for real. Like, I don't even want to, like, just be so for real. These guys don't invest any of their time and energy into things that they don't care about. They can't even be bothered, right, to take a relationship seriously or be consistent enough in a relationship that you can feel good about your situationship or your talking stage. You guys, most of you guys have to work so hard and figure out so many tricks and techniques to get a guy to be consistent with you on the regular. So imagine if you have a guy who can be consistent with you for 17 years, like I think it was Chantelli said, or for 10 years, like Enlightened A said. Like, let's be for real. These guys aren't investing decades of their life because you're such, they just love the friendship that much. Let's be so for real. Okay. That doesn't come from absolutely nowhere. Remember, I'm your friend that's going to tell you it's always that deep. Okay? I'm your friend that's going to tell you everything is that deep. There's nothing in life that is not that deep. And definitely nobody investing 10 years, 17 years, 5 years, 6 years of their life is just something casual to them that, oh, we just friends, so I invest 10 years of my life being your friend, but I feel nothing towards you. Be so for real. Okay, and we're talking about men, right? Adriana says, I want to be friends with him first. Why did you want to be friends with him? Ask yourself that as well. Maybe you were attracted to him, right? Why would he be nice and then blunt and mean while he would criticize me, but he would say one thing, then he say one thing, then he say a whole different thing, which makes no sense. I'm sorry, I don't really understand what your question is. Right? He's criticizing you, but he keeps saying different things. Giwa says in the TikTok, Gilta says, I love you too. Right? Gabby says it's always that deep. I agree. It is always that deep. Adriana says, I want to be friends first. That's totally different. If you're being friends so that you guys can build a relationship, that's totally different. Now, if you are being friends hoping that you'll build a relationship and then you realize later on that there is no relationship, and then you continue being friends hoping that that will change, then you're quickly going to find yourself in the exact scenario that I was just describing. Okay? Right? And you don't want to find yourself in that position. And it'll be very, very, very painful. Okay? So, for those of you guys who want to send me a message on Instagram, you can. Although I would advise you to do it on the Discord. It would be way better because not only can I help you, I can help everyone else. So you can go on the Discord. You can add me on Instagram if you just want to be up my booty hole and see everything I'm doing. I would advise you, if you have a question for me, go to the Discord, go to the section where it says relationship advice. It's like a thread, and you can put your whole story on the forum there. I know everyone will be able to see it, obviously. You can redact any personal information if you want, or you can be as open as you possibly want. This is safe space for all of us. And that way, I can answer your question live on here, and it can also help not just me, but other people see that we're all human beings going through very, very similar things. You know, it's very good to feel like you're part of a community where it's not just you that life is happening to, it's all of us. Okay. It's amazing to feel like that. Um, yes. Okay. So, add me in the Discord. I will be in there chatting with you guys, having conversation. You guys can also, please go to the Discord and mention any topics you guys want me to talk about and discuss as well, because I want to make sure I'm addressing everything that you guys have questions about, especially from the man's perspective. Okay. So make sure you go in the Discord. For those of you on TikTok, you go on my link in my bio and join the Discord. And for those of you on YouTube, you can see it there, put in the link. Okay. My YouTube page is right here, up here. If you're wondering where you can find this live stream because you missed part of it, or you want to rewatch part of it, rewind part of it. We went through a lot of stuff in detail today. So there's a lot of information there. It's all available on my YouTube, and you can go back and rewatch over and over and over and over again until your eyes bleed. Okay. Now, yes, live stream right there. Live stream right there. It's my name. You just screenshot it and go right to it. I'm live every day, 4 p.m. Eastern time. So expect to see me back tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern sharp. Whatever that time is in your time zone, that is the time I will be back on, and we'll have another amazing, awesome show. Okay? I hope you have a good rest of your day, night, weekend. Can't be weekend for you. Day, night, morning, or afternoon. One of the two. One of the three. Okay? I will see you tomorrow, 4 p.m. sharp, and we're going to have another amazing, great show. Okay? Talk to you later, or I'll talk to you in the Discord. Okay? I'll see you guys later. I love you so much. Okay? Love you so much. Bye for now. Bye for now. Bye for now.